We are about to embark upon a series of strange and exciting, dangerous adventures. Adventures that will lead us to all parts of the world.
Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. This time we are looking at Night Terrors The Flash, Issue 2. This, as usual, is a two-part micro-series from DC Comics in 2023 that ties into the Night Terrors event. This was written by Alex Paknadel, art by Daniel Bayliss and Tom Derenick, colors by Igor Monti and Pete Pantazis, letters by Simon Bowland, cover by Werther Dell'Edera, assistant editor Rebecca Bonahan, edited by Chris Rosa, group editor Paul Kaminsky. I don't like the cover because it in no way relates to what's going on in the book. Insomnia makes a cameo of sorts, and that's about it. He's not the villain of the story, and he's only kind of peripherally and even involved in this. So it's a very misleading cover, and it's supposed to tie into the Night Terrors thing, but it really doesn't. It's just its own two-part story. So the nightmare for Barry continues as he continues to go back in time to try and save Wally, and it's mutating him horribly so that he looks incredibly monstrous. And finally he figures out that he could go to the future to try and get what he needs, and he ends up running into Zoom, and Thawne is faster and stronger than him, but Barry's not there to be his friend. He's there to steal the Speed Force from him so that he has enough speed to go back in time and stop this creature once and for all, but he still can't do it. Instead he runs into this giant monstrous amalgamation of his different attempts, and he doesn't really come out of the nightmare. He's kind of forced out of it. Unlike some of the others, he doesn't overcome the nightmare. He just sort of succumbs to it, and it's a very interesting take on what happens when confronting your worst demons and failures, because while he tries to kill the monster, he ends up becoming part of it, and he's woken up in a much different way. It's a pretty disturbing story in a lot of ways. I thought the art, although Barry looks incredibly goofy about most of the issue, it's actually not that bad. When you see people in costume, people out of costume, they have no lips like usual. They have little ridges where their bottom lip would be, but they don't have top lip. I think some of the shots needed work, where especially in the hospital scenes where he's talking to his mom, she looks a little weird at times, and there's limbs that look excessively out of place or misproportioned, but otherwise some of the art looks really good, especially the scenes where he's fighting Reverse Flash. Those scenes were really well done, and the end of the book looked great, but overall the plot was pretty fun. It was a bit depressing that Barry couldn't overcome the nightmare that he was in and couldn't really see out of it, even though he was sort of aware that he was in a nightmare. It was definitely not one of the worst micro series that I've read for this. It was a pretty dark story, but it was pretty well done, and that surprised me because after reading the Punchline ones and the Poison Ivy ones, this was a really nice change of pace because it was much better written and had better art. So while there are minor flaws with the art that I think the artist can work on over time, it really was functional. It was a decent story. Is it worth the cover price? Not really, but if you could get it for a little over half cover price, I would say check it out. It was a pretty interesting take on what happens in nightmares. Compared to the other Night Terror stuff, this is definitely one of the better two-parters. But that's going to do it for this one. Thank you so much for listening and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future reviews. If you'd like to help the channel out in other ways, links are in the description to various support methods. And as always, we hope to see you on the next one.